Hi everyone, today we are going to explore the concepts of prejudice and stereotyping, what they are, how they show up in our daily lives, and most importantly, how we can challenge and reduce them. First, let's talk about what prejudice is. Prejudice is a conceived opinion or feeling, usually negative, toward a person or a group based on characteristics like race, gender, or religion. Stereotypes are when we apply a generalized belief or expectation about a group to an individual, often ignoring their unique qualities. A quick summary: prejudice is a judgment made before knowing someone. It's based on an assumption. And then stereotyping is assuming things about people based on group traits. These both can be harmful even when they seem harmless. For example, in media, you might see certain groups portrayed in specific ways, like an angry teenager or a nerdy scientist. Even all old people don't know how to use technology. These are all stereotypes. Then in everyday life, prejudice might show up as someone making assumptions about another person without really knowing them. These concepts are important because they influence how people interact and can lead to unfair treatment. Now let's look and analyze some real-life scenarios. Let's say you're in an interview. What are some stereotypes? Maybe your age, like assuming an older candidate isn't good with technology or won't adapt to change. Your gender, assuming a woman might not be a good leader because of family responsibilities. Ethnicity, believing someone from a certain culture won't fit in. Appearance, like maybe tattoos or dyed hair is unprofessional. And even an accent, believing a candidate with a strong accent isn't going to be intelligent or capable. On the flip side, there's prejudices in an interview, like rejecting a candidate because they belong to a certain race or religion, even if they are qualified. Treating male and female candidates differently, and even dismissing candidates' answers because of personal bias. Now let's think of stereotypes in the classroom. Maybe you assume that boys are better at math and science while girls excel in reading and writing. Maybe you believe certain students from a particular culture will be troublemakers. Maybe you think a student who struggles with reading just isn't smart, rather than considering their different learning needs. There's also prejudice that we can find in a classroom. Maybe you are calling on certain students more than others because of race, gender. Maybe you're grading unfairly due to personal bias, or discouraging certain students from advancing classes based on assumptions on their background, or even allowing or encouraging cliques that will marginalize certain students because of stereotypes. How do we take action? Here are some strategies to challenge biases. First, we can use more awareness. We can recognize when stereotypes or prejudices appear in conversations or media. We can question assumptions. Instead of accepting a stereotype, ask yourself, is this really true? What evidence do I have? We can speak up, politely challenge these comments and misinformation when you hear them, especially in online or group settings. We can even promote inclusion. We can encourage diverse perspectives in group work or discussions to break down stereotypes. For example, if you see someone being stereotyped in an online chat, you can simply just say, I think that's a stereotype and it does not apply to everyone. By applying these strategies, we help create a more respectful and understanding environment. To wrap up, understanding prejudice and stereotyping helps us recognize their impact. Analyzing real situations shows us why they're harmful, And applying these strategies allows us to actively challenge and reduce these behaviors. Together, we can build a community where everyone feels seen and valued for who they really are.